The Orion Constellation lies in the northern sky, on the celestial equator. It is one of the brightest and best-known constellations in the night sky. Orion is also known as the Hunter. It is associated with the mythical hunter Orion, who is often depicted in star maps as either facing the charge of Taurus, the bull, or chasing after the hare, represented by the constellation Lepus, with his two hunting dogs, represented by the nearby constellations Canis Major and Canis Minor. Orion is easily located in the sky by the three bright stars in a row that make up Orion's belt, which is one of the most familiar asterisms in the night sky, along with the Big Dipper and the Southern Cross in southern latitudes. Starting with the top one, in the northern hemisphere, the names of these three stars are Mintaka, Alnilam, and Alnitak. Two of the three stars that form the belt of Orion are supergiants. The Orion Constellation is home to the most important portal in our galaxy, the Orion Portal. This interdimensional portal connects different dimensions, allowing beings to travel between them. With enough energy, they can even control those dimensions and create a new universe. Due to its strategic significance, Orion has become a target for many extraterrestrial species and has a very complicated history. There were many species living in the Orion Constellation, including Lyran and vegan refugees who fled to Orion after the Lyran Draconian Wars, Greys, reptilians, amphibians, insectoids, and others. The Orion Constellation was home to many beings, and one of the organizations present there was the world's Agriculturalists. These beings are very large, about twice the size of a human. They have human-like bodies with heart-shaped ant heads. Their eyes resemble those of ants, but they have human mouths. Their skin changes color according to the sun, and its texture is similar to that of fish scales. They traveled through other star systems and galaxies in a spaceship that resembled a lotus flower, with many petals that opened and closed like a lotus. They stored the genetic information of every species in chambers that looked like flowers. This information was shared across planets and Orion. Their mission was to seed genetic information on various conscious planets, storing it in different places as a safeguard in case something catastrophic happened. They were working to build greenhouses on every planet. For them, the universe was not called God, but the tree. They believed the universe functioned like a tree, with each planet being a fruit of this tree. To them, God was represented by the main white tree, from which many planets, the fruits, grew. Their role was to collect seeds of DNA and information, store them in greenhouses, and later retrieve this data to seed other planets, ensuring that the information was never lost. They worked closely with another species from a planet near Rigel that was responsible for identifying worlds in the process of evolution. This species informed the agriculturalists where to go and which DNA to collect. The agriculturalists then brought that information back to their planet and analyzed the cells and materials in a holographic lab. In this lab, they could magnify the cells and manipulate them using their fingers through vibration. They reorganized the DNA patterns to balance them with the information from their own worlds. They performed DNA modifications to adapt certain species to different planets. These Orions sought out planets that were in the process of awakening to consciousness so that the harvested information would be conscious rather than unconscious. If information were seeded in unconscious worlds, it wouldn't properly connect with the self. That's why they were trying to reach conscious planets that were attempting to communicate with the self This is why Earth and humanity were chosen to be among the conscious seeds for the agriculturalists to harvest information from, to be seeded throughout the galaxy as Earth began its journey toward awareness and spirituality. During the Orion Wars, many agriculturalists pointed to Earth, saying, "We need to bring our information there and become the information ourselves." As a result, many of them ended their lives in their own dimensions and incarnated into the third dimension so they could become the storage of the information themselves. In this world, by being human, they can harvest the energy they had seeded and teach others how to do the same. The main thing they are trying to teach humanity is to create the seeds for each of their flowers. That's why, in the history of many cultures, they taught about chakras, which represent the flowers that generate the energy needed to nourish the whole body and themselves. If we can work with enlightenment properly, focusing on the flowers in our bodies, we can become the seeds that feed not only other species in the galaxy, but also the entire universe. The world's agriculturalists are the ones seeding information to the greenhouse worlds of food and using their energy to nourish the galaxies and the entire universe. Their goal is to help us enlighten ourselves, because when we become enlightened beings, we become our own source of energy and nourish every species in the universe through consciousness. They are working to enhance the seeds as much as possible, making them better and more enlightened. They are among the seeders of Earth and humanity. However, due to the Orion Wars and draconian corruption, the Orion Constellation split into the polarities of light and darkness, with most beings choosing to align with the Draconians and negatively oriented Pleiadians. They formed the reptilian Anunnaki Grey social memory complex, which operates for service to self and exerts influence over other planets.